May I come in, sir?
Yes, come.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Good evening. Have a seat. Umamaheswar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's your name, na?
Yes, sir.
Umamaheswar is from Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh,
Yes.
and mathematics is your optional.
Yes, sir.
And you have done mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir.
And as far as hobbies are concerned, teaching aptitude for competitive examination. Are you attached with any particular group?
Presently, no, sir. But I used to teach when I used to work in Bangalore. And
Okay.
also during the COVID times, I tried to follow that hobby. But presently, due to the work pressure, I kind of mostly doing it on weekends, but not doing it on the regular basis.
So right now you are not working anywhere, na?
Presently, I'm working in Amazon, sir.
Amazon, okay. Because Amazon, it shows that you worked up to July 2022.
So that was when like the DAF was not accepting if I don't fill the end date, sir. So that's why when I filled the DAF on in the month of July, I kept it as July 2022. It was not accepting the empty value in the DAF.
Okay, all right. Okay, can you tell me, Umamaheshwar, any particular instance where you have shown leadership qualities?
Like, would you like to hear from the professional life or the personal life?
Anyone, in a short, crisp manner, just quickly.
Yes, sir. So during my graduation in IIT Hyderabad, I used to captain IIT Hyderabad hockey team. So at that time, in the 50th Inter-IIT Sports Meet, I was the captain of IIT Hyderabad hockey team and represented my college there, sir. So there, like when some of my friends were not able to manage both the academic studies and the sports, and sort of not inclined to participate in the hockey, so I went to them and sort of tried to convince them in how to balance both, like in trying to explain them how the sports is equally important apart from the academics, and how the sports will help in their personal careers, sir.
Okay, all right. Tell me, while you were sitting outside, how much time did you spend outside?
Around 30 minutes, I would
30
say.
minutes you have come here. What
Yes,
were
sir.
you thinking while you were sitting outside?
So I was looking into social media. I was not thinking much, sir. I tried to keep calm.
You were looking at your mobile phones, social
Yes, sir.
media. Okay. All right. How will you tackle the petty corruption which takes place in government offices at the lower level? It is that petty corruption, or retail corruption also it is called.
Yes.
If you are posted as collector, how will you get rid of that?
So
Besides technology, we know that Andhra Pradesh has been a leader in using technology. Besides technology, what are the steps that you will take to bring down the corruption?
Yes, sir. So this was a precise question I even asked my friend who has done masters in USA and came back to India recently. So in USA, like the lower level corruption is not there, sir, mostly. So I would feel one of the important reasons and the difference between India and USA is the deadline for any services. So if, for example, let's say to get an uh, ration card, so we don't have a particular deadline like within these many days the respective government has to give the ration card to the people.
That deadline is there.
Yes, sir.
Every state government has got it.
Okay, sir. I was just quoting the example. So these deadlines are not being followed. So people are being forced to give money for this, sir. So to tackle this kind of corruption, Andhra Pradesh government has brought this volunteer system, wherein volunteers only go to the homes of every people, try to get the details of these people, and try to see like if they are eligible to the any welfare schemes or not. And if they are eligible, they will only gather all the documents and try to make sure that they are getting the related benefit.
Okay, services at the doorsteps of the
Yes, sir.
citizens.
Yes, sir.
But while answering that question, you mentioned that there are no deadlines. So you should be sure on facts, because every state has now got a Right to Public Services Act, which prescribes the deadlines, and the penalties are also provided. In case someone does not meet the deadline, he can be penalized for that. So while giving answer, be slightly careful about that thing.
Okay,
But the other method, which is a very good thing, which you have said, that going to the doorstep of the people and getting the work done at them. That is a very good suggestion. Okay, my last question to you would be, for example, uh, if I ask you that since mathematics is your paper, isn't it?
yes, sir.
Okay. So, what is the role of mathematics in public administration or the civil services? What is the role that you see? How it will be useful to you, mathematics?
So civil services is mostly of generalist role. So even like non-mathematician can also play a good role in civil services. But to put my mathematics knowledge into the civil services, I would see some sort of objective-oriented planning can be done, where this and also during the COVID planning. So some of the mathematical models are being used in order to predict what could be the increase in spread of the COVID cases, and in order to resolve, in order to address those issues, like at what scale the public administration has to be buckled up, and what are the kind of services that need to be given to the people. And yeah, I'm not able to
Yeah,
think much
so you
about
can
it.
also add that the entire public policy making process is based on facts and figures. You see, if you have to bring out a new public policy, you have to have lot of data, evidence, and that evidence data is actually mathematics, isn't it? You use many statistical, theorems and roles, models in order to arrive at a certain solution. So you can say role of mathematics is very much there in public policy cycle. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Umamaheswar.
Umamaheswar. We were just now. Umamaheswar. I'm sorry. We were just now talking about the role of mathematics in public policy formulation. Since you have done mathematics, I would like to know from you who was the person or a team of eminent mathematicians who formulated a mathematical model for COVID prediction.
No, sir, I don't
No
have.
idea? Read upon it. Okay, you are presently working in Amazon.
Yes, sir.
I read in the paper 2-3 days back about the layoff of employees. Very big layoff.
So this is the second wave of layoff, I would say. The first wave of layoff was around 18,000 employees were impacted, and now they are saying that 9,000 employees will be affected by
What
the
was the
second.
motive?
Sir?
Cost cutting? What was the idea behind it?
So the idea is because they have kind of overhyped during the COVID wave, because a lot of people shifted to e-commerce, and so they predicted that this demand would stay even after the end of COVID, which is not the case. So to kind of doing the cost cutting mechanism, so they're trying to lay off some of the peoples.
Okay. My next question is, what is the present status of the 3 capitals of Andhra Pradesh?
Yes, sir. So the present status is the case is pending in the Supreme Court. So,
So it has not been decided yet?
sir, no, sir, it is not yet decided.
Okay.
But in one of the interviews, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister has said that Vizag is going to be the capital city of Andhra Pradesh. But as per the official status and as per the answer that has been given in the Parliament, Amravati is the present capital of Andhra Pradesh.
Achha. Okay. My last question is, like human beings have got human rights. Should animals not have animal rights?
Definitely, sir. Animals should also have animal rights, and that's why we have wildlife. We have introduced one of the act, prevention of. Sorry, I don't remember the act name, but yes, animals do need animal rights.
But they don't have.
We have some of the laws in place, and also the penalties are
But
being
I
imposed.
think it is our fundamental duty to protect them.
Yes, sir.
If they don't have animal rights, we should protect them at least.
Yes, sir. It is our duty to protect.
Now, there was a ritual of Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
What is the present status of that case? Has Supreme Court given some verdict?
Sir, the present status is the Tamil Nadu government has brought an amendment on top of the Supreme Court judgment. So the presently Jallikattu is being allowed in the Tamil Nadu state and
It's
is being
continuing?
followed. Yes, sir, it is continuing.
Without any opposition from anybody?
Opposition is there, sir, from some of the NGOs, PETA and all.
Okay.
But still, with the influence of local people, it's still being continued.
Thank you.
Right. What is the highest award for mathematics called?
So it's Fields Medal, I would say. And yeah, also the Able Prize is also.
Yeah. Who got the Able Award this year?
Sir, not able to recall the names.
Okay. He got it for partial differential.
Partial differential equation.
Right equation. What is the application of partial differential equation for issues of interest to humanity?
Sir, in order to predict any algorithm, like let's say the spread of COVID cases, so there will be certain differential equations, or both ordinary and partial differential equations that would be derived sir. But in order to arrive at the solution, we need to able to know what kind of algorithms we can use in order to solve those partial differential equations.
Okay. Now, what are the problems in the bilateral relationship between Pak and Afghanistan? Pakistan leadership and Taliban, they were great friends, but their honeymoon was long over. Pakistan thought that now they can call the shots, now the Taliban is in power. So what are the issues which are creating friction?
Yes, sir. There is a Taliban, one more offset of Taliban that is present in western part of Pakistan, which is getting the support from Taliban.
What is it called?
Taliban, sir.
Okay.
So it is
So
getting.
this is an offshoot of?
It is entirely different from the Afghanistan Taliban, but it is getting support from them, sir. So this is.
Where is the origin of this Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan? They are what? Afghanis? They are Xinjiang or they are Pakistanis? What are they?
So it is in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region of Pakistan.
So they are Pakistanis?
Yes, sir.
Mostly, yes. Okay, proceed.
So they are creating law and order issues, and also they are asking for secession from the Pakistan. So initially Pakistan thought that Afghanistan Taliban would be supportive to them. That's why even they supported the leaving of USA from Afghanistan. But now they are not getting the kind of support they initially felt. So this is why there are a lot of incidents.
Okay, what are the other friction points?
So the spread of opium, the intake of opium from Afghanistan to Pakistan borders.
What else? These are also there, but these are smaller points. There are some bigger issues.
So not able to recall.
Okay, please read about that, bilateral relations with our neighbors.
Yes.
And you were hockey captain. Now, captain is a leader.
Yes, sir.
We say political leaders, Rajneta. Do you agree with this term, political leaders and Rajneta?
Sir, Rajneta, I don't know what.
Rajneta is Hindi of political leaders.
Okay.
You agree with suffixing this word leader with politicians?
So
In general.
Yes, sir, any group will have a leader. So likewise in the politics, there will be political leaders.
So you find that it is okay to use, it fulfills the definition of leadership when you say political leaders or Rajneta.
Sir, I would say the main attributes of leader are to be able to lead the people from front, to be able to persuade the people in order to make them follow what the leader feels.
Okay, that's correct. But what about ethics? What about integrity? What about honesty?
Yes, sir. Even these are also very important.
Do they fulfill it by and large?
Not entirely, sir.
So you would be fine with this, or you want it to change to political personalities? And why political leaders? 43% of MPs have got criminal cases against them. So is this word okay?
Sir, if we look at the exact definition of leader, then I would say definition is not okay.
All right.
We may have to call them political personalities, as you say.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have opted for mathematics
Yes,
as your
ma'am.
optional.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a layman. Can you explain to me the difference between differential calculus and integral calculus?
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
So let's say we have this room, and we need to calculate the volume of this room. So in this, we will take each and every finite element of this and then add it over infinite times. In this room, this will be finite times only. So in order to come to the volume of this room, we'll go through the integral calculus. We'll use integral calculus. Whereas let's say there is a table here which is a circular kind of thing, and to be able to know like at a certain point at what degree the table is turning, then we will use differential calculus to arrive at the slope of this curve. Yes.
But what about how to calculate the area of the table through differential calculus?
I mean, we will use integral calculus, ma'am, to calculate the area.
Okay. What are constitutional amendments?
So the amendments that are being done to the present constitution under the Article 368, we will call them as constitutional amendments.
How many have been carried so far?
Around 104 or 105, not sure of the exact number.
Okay. How can the knowledge of sociology be applied in administration and made better?
So knowing about the demography of the region and knowing about the people, local culture and all, so this administration can be brought closer to the people so that people can gain trust on the officers. So this will increase the trust relationship between the government and the people, and the kind of psychological barrier that people have can be decreased, so that people will be more informed about their rights. They can demand their rights, and they can hold the government accountable.
Last question now. Could you briefly explain to me what is mathematical physics?
Not sure of the exact definition, ma'am, but I can
Just
guess.
explanation.
Yes, ma'am. So physics has certain real life concepts, but to arrive at a conclusion whether the particular theory in the physics is correct or not, we need to use mathematics to derive. So I would say the mathematics that is being used in the real life to solve the physical laws is called mathematical physics.
Okay.
Umamaheswar,
Yes, ma'am.
what are dry ports?
No, ma'am.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
It's all right. Do you watch movies?
Yeah.
You see, Telugu film industry is doing very well these days.
Yes, ma'am.
Globally, they've made a name for themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are people liking these movies?
So one of the main reasons is that these Telugu movies are close to the Indian culture. So people are being fed up with the kind of Western influence that we have. So mainly when Telugu movies are bringing the Indian culture onto the big screen, people are liking them, ma'am. For example, RRR movie, it is shot in the during the independence era. So people has liked the Indian culture and are promoting all over the world.
Okay. Umamaheswar, you worked for Honeywell.
Yes, ma'am.
They manufacture mattresses, do they? What do they do, Honeywell?
So it is involved in various sectors.
Okay.
In aerospace sector, it manufactures engines, and in electronic sectors, it manufactures Honeywell lights and heaters, and also in mechanical sector, it manufactures turbochargers, ma'am.
What are 3 good qualities that you have imbibed from this job?
Okay. So one is time management, ma'am. So not only from the Honeywell job, but even from the Amazon job also, like it was initially very difficult for me to kind of manage both studies and the job, but I finally got through it. So time management, I would say, was the first option, and the second option is to able to interact with people more easily. Like initially during the graduation stage, I was more of reserved and introvert kind of thing, but to be able to get our things done, we need to talk to lot of people. I mean, we have to clear our doubts. So the personal relations, I would say, is the second one, and the third one is so to be able, I mean, it's a flat organization, ma'am. So whenever we have to talk to any leaders, so we just have to go to them and we have to show our confidence. So initially I used to have this psychological barrier, like even though I know the concepts clear, but when I go to any superior authority, I kind of subdue myself and not able to clearly put my values. But yeah, in the corporate culture, I would say this kind of barrier I was able to overcome, and when I'm confident in my values, I was able to clearly put them in front of them.
Have you heard about production linked incentive scheme?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it working well?
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, not up to the mark of our initial standards, but it is
What is the
doing
problem?
average. Ma'am,
What is the problem with it?
problem is the main criticism is like we are just assembling. We are not actually doing much value addition in manufacturing sector in India.
Thank you.
Umamaheswar,
Yes.
we will take you back to the waiting room. Stay there for a while. We will call you back for giving the feedback.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks. Thank you, ma'am.
Have a seat.
Yes.
So, Umamaheswar, this is the first time you have got a call.
Yes, sir.
When is your interview?
On April 28th.
28th April. And how do you think you would like to rate yourself on this mock? Your own views.
I would say it's average, sir. I was not able to answer some of the questions.
Which are the questions where you think you could have answered in a better fashion? Or,
On mathematical related questions.
okay. So, Umamaheswar, I would like to say that your performance has been quite good here.
Yes.
Quite good. Of course, there is always scope for improvement, and you still have got about 20 days at your disposal, and I'm sure you can improve it considerably. This is not to say that your performance was not good. Your answers were absolutely fine. One or two questions you were not able to answer, which is also perfect, because not every question can be answered, and nobody will take it adverse if one is not able to answer all the question, because not saying no is better than bluffing, which you were very honest in your approach. So your articulation, slight energy in your articulation, some force that would bring more confidence also in your answers. So just practice before mirror, speaking in a louder, modulating voice. You see, that's the only thing which is required. Otherwise, your communication skills are fine. Your eye contact, scanning, everything is fine. Your demeanor, your poise, dress sense is also fine. And you will be wearing a coat on that day?
No, sir.
You will not be wearing a coat. Okay, no problem. Coming to your knowledge base, knowledge is fine. Relation with the neighbors, foreign policy of India, relation with the neighbors, you can study slightly more. Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, study them. Also study the relation between India and China, and Russia and USA. Please also study the foreign policy of India, how it has gone through different phases right from 1947. The public policies which have been made by this government and the previous governments also, make a study about that. I would like to suggest to you one book which is called 70 Policies That Shaped India. 70 Policies That Shaped India, right from 1947. It's an excellent book which will give you a bird eye view, how policies have come, which are impacting on different sectors of our society, women, children, then subjects like banking, space, coal, life insurance, all these things. So that is a good thing. And your subject which you have taken is mathematics. So mathematics is, yourself said that, so Ramanujam and Hardy and theory of numbers, sometimes even basic questions are asked, one is not able to answer. What is a harmonic progression? What is a geometric progression? Arithmetic progression. What is a fraction? What is HCF? What is LCM? The product of HCS and LCM, is it the product of the two numbers? What is trigonometry? What is algebra? Define them. So make a good study about the elementary things, you see. Therefore, the glossary which is normally attached to any book, which gives a definition of the various terms, go through that, because sometimes these elementary questions are asked. You are standing at the near a building, and you want to calculate the height of the building. How will you calculate the height? If you have got, you can measure the angle of the top of the building. So you will use trigonometry, and then the vertical, so the normal on the base, you see, that will give you that answer, isn't it? So this is how you will on mathematics side. And differential and integral calculus, a question was asked about that also. So then many series. So what is infinity? What is zero? Fourier series and Bernoulli series. So many series are there. And I'm sure whatever you have studied in the maths paper, go through the syllabus and make just a study about it. Okay.
Okay.
National Mathematics Day. Which day is called National Mathematics Day? Okay. The question was asked about the awards which are given for the greatest mathematicians of the world. Then mechanical engineering, the future of the vehicles in this world. What exactly hydrogen-based vehicles and electric-powered vehicle? What are the constraints? What are the problems? Okay, CNG vehicle, LPG vehicle, the difference, internal combustion, external combustion engines, laws of thermodynamics, Bernoulli's principle. These are all elementary things. You will study them in 11th, 12th class and maximum BS bachelor. But sometimes these questions are asked. Okay. Then current affairs. Current affairs, I would like you to suggest, read the Constitution, read the Economic Survey of India and the budget. Read what is corporate governance, what is ethics, okay, the Reserve Bank of India, the policies of Reserve Bank of India and the Finance Ministry, how the India has, the economy has come back on its rails, what are the steps taken, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance, moving towards a deglobalization or protectionism, why it has become necessary. What is the result of Russia-Ukraine war? How does it benefit India? If India was to mediate, what are the basic points on which India can mediate, you see, okay? Yes. And also the terms like, the e-governance and good governance and the role of e-governance in public service delivery, which was started by one of your former chief ministers, Chandrababu Naidu. Yes. He brought about the use of technology in improving the public service delivery, okay? So then it was followed all over the country as the best practices. Then read about United Nations and the role which it is playing, the different bodies of the United Nations like WHO, UNICEF, and also the different Millennium Development Goals and SDGs. So that will give you a fairly good picture about India, where it stands, and the technological innovations which it has brought about, policy transfer, what is the citizen charter, what is citizen-centric administration, how will you bring down the corruption? I asked you that particular question also. So read about that also. Then things like, for example, what is climate change? And do read about climate change. It is one of the global problems that we are facing. Okay. Yes, sir. So if you brush up your GS2 and GS3 and GS4, you will be able to have a fairly good idea. But current affairs don't neglect. That's the very important part. Particularly the new education policy, the electoral reforms, the police reforms, and the administrative reforms. Okay. Yes. If you happen to have any questions regarding the interview, how any doubts in your mind, you can ask us.
So was my voice clear and loud?
The voice was clear. It can be slightly louder. Okay. So start practicing in front of a mirror to make it slightly more loud and full of modulation. That will bring lot of effectivity in your voice, okay? Like I'm speaking with a certain amount of amplitude, a good loudness, modulation in the voice. That is how you should bring, because that whatever answer you give, it should be supported by a good voice content also, okay? Yes, sir. Otherwise it's fine, just practice it.
Yeah, I got this feedback from earlier marks as well, like to slightly modulate my voice and be more confident in giving the responses.
You have the knowledge. I'm sure you have that knowledge. Yes. But sometimes what happens is that, and don't be nervous. In interview, the people are going to be very friendly, the panelists. They will give you a lot of comfort zone. You can think and come out with the answers, okay? Whenever there are controversial questions, take both the sides, give both the views, and then come out with the official view, that this is the official view with which you agree.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes.
Anything else?
That's it. I'm good, sir.
Very good. You're very good, but we would like to see you become outstanding, which you can.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank
All
you.
right. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thanks.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.